Hello and welcome to the Center for Victory podcast of Your Best Day Yet. Here at Center for Victory, we're here to help unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. My name is Zack DelTurco. I'm an executive consultant here at the Center for Victory. And today we have Eric Guy, the one and only Chief Victory Officer. He's back and we're talking about his book, Butterfly. And what it's all about is giving and generosity. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. Let me ask you with this first question. How does true giving strengthen relationships?
Yeah, so we've been talking about the benefits of giving, and one of the things that actually giving does is that actually strengthens relationships. If you look at it, giving is like the lifeblood of strong relationships. Because if you truly give, and what I mean by that, truly giving, is meaning not giving to get, it's just giving to give.
No expectations.
No expectations. We would call that unconditional love, right? It moves you from that place of conditional love into unconditional love. It takes the importance off of us, right, of getting, and puts it on the relationship. It shows the person really how important they are in conjunction with us, and it really begins to strengthen that bond and that relationship and that attachment between two people.
Yeah, that's good. So what is the true giver's mindset? Because I know before you go, in your last book,
Right.
you talk about love over fear.
Correct.
So I'm guessing, that a true giver's mindset is living out of that place of love. So talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so that's actually a very good segue. What I said earlier about how it strengthens relationships. The true giver gives without expecting anything in return, and that is where you want to go, because that's a place where you're just fully emotionally in love and not giving, waiting in anticipation to get things back, because that can create fear. Well, what if I don't get it? All those kinds of things. One of the things that, and this isn't mine, I didn't create this, I just absolutely love it, and I talk about it in my lectures, retreats, and everything, especially with couples, man. But if you could do it with your kids too, it'll blow your mind, and I guarantee for somebody, if you have a close relationship with one another, it'll strengthen that relationship. It's called the 100-0 principle, and that's really a true giver's mindset. It's a very cool concept. And what it's all about is take a relationship. I just give 100%. I don't expect anything in return. And I know people are listening to this because they always do when I talk about it and go, I could never do that. Yeah. It's because we're conditional. We live in too much fear. Yeah. Now, this isn't something that you go and do with everybody. I get that. I'm not naive. But in most cases, when you give and you don't expect anything in return, it often, like we talked about with our other podcasts, it often comes back to you in return. So whatever you sow, you get to reap all that back, and it turns into 100. But I think sometimes it turns into 110, 120 each, because it makes that relationship so much stronger, because there's no, hey, you have to behave this way for me to like you, or you have to do this, or you failed at this, so I don't like you anymore. It's just about loving that person unconditionally and giving unconditionally, right, to that person, and what you get in return is you get that mirror right back to you.
I think it is so true. When you practice, it takes practice to get there.
Lots
you just
practice.
don't turn on a switch and say, oh, I'm going to do the 100-0 principle. But in my life, after hearing you talk about this, when you change your mindset to that, it's so much freeing. It's like, you know what? I'm giving just because. I'm not asking anything in return. I'm going to go help my buddy move this Saturday. And people hate moving other people.
Right.
But I'm doing that with no return. I don't need a piece of pizza at lunch to help you out. But it's that principle of
You
like,
just don't need a piece of pizza.
but it's a principle.
Couple pieces will be good. Sorry about that.
No, but it's just that idea of, I want to help you just because.
Right.
And that's what a proverb, it talks about when you water others, you're actually watering yourself. Yeah. It comes full circle like you were talking about.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just, it pays with interest.
So why do you think people have such a hard time giving in relationships?
One of the biggest things is of past hurt. I mean, and conditioning. I mean, we just don't think about all the people we've been hurt through with relationships, and it's been close relationships. So we don't give, and then we don't give to others because we're still living in the past. And that's why that 100-0 principle, if you want to practice that, even if you've been hurt, most of us have been hurt, and that keeps us from giving. And it can be hard for people to live that way. They hear that 100-0 and they're like, oh, there's no way I'm doing that, right? And most of the reason is we get hurt. I mean, we've been hurt before, and I don't think it'll ever go away.
Just walking out of hurt right now. You know what I mean? Dealing with it, navigating that right now. So
and you don't want to, and I shared this in our leadership team. I think it was last week or the week before, man.
Monday.
I just really got to, get to the point where I'm even more myself, because that's where I love to be. Like, don't let anybody that has said anything, that has done anything, prohibit me from doing that, because that's where I'm happiest. I mean, I love to do that. I love to do things for people. I don't, sometimes I, do get taken advantage of, but more often than not. And that's the thing, you have to go, whatever you're paying attention to, right? Now that could be another podcast, right? Either see it as a crisis or an opportunity, and to grow or to withdraw. And I think a lot of people have issue with it because it forces us to go inward, and really giving is forcing us to go outward. And when we go outward, we get more.
That's good.
And
that's in your book, right?
Yeah. I mean, and to think about it here, I love one of the things I said in the book, in this new book, is giving is not giving in. When we stop giving, we stop honoring ourselves and who we really are and who we're meant to and called to be.
That's good. Say that one more time.
Giving is not giving in. When we stop giving, we stop honoring who we are and who we were truly meant to be. And what does it do for that other person? It inhibits them as well. So that's another idea.
That's good. So as we finish up, what are some bullet points? What are some takeaways our audience can live by this week?
Number one, I think strengthen your relationships that are important to you by giving unconditionally to the relationship. Number two is practice the mindset of a true giver. And what that is that's that concept that we just went over. It's that 100-0 principle. And just sit back and watch how your relationships improve. If you want to improve any relationship that you want to have close to somebody, just give. And again, not being a doormat, but just unconditionally give to them, and it'll turn on its head. And number three, remember, we've all been hurt by giving, especially inside of relationships, and that doesn't mean we stop or quit. Don't give in. Keep giving and live out, your true abundance. And when you do that, you unconsciously get to do that for other people, and it shows them to do that, and they continue to just play that out in their lives with people they know as well.
Yeah, and I would say my biggest takeaway, and then we'll get into the action statement here for everybody, is just do it with one person this week, especially over Thanksgiving. This is what this whole month is about, Thanksgiving, being thankful for somebody. And maybe someone that you're very thankful for has hurt you in the past. Do that 100-0 principle this week. Maybe it's with family you haven't seen in a while, and watch the trajectory of your life change forever. So what's the action step that you have for somebody here today?
Action step is just, I think that's great advice, Zach. I mean, I can't have said it any better. Go out and do it this week. Put yourself in that position and go out and just try to change one, by just giving fully, unconditionally, without any condition of getting anything back. So.
That's good. And I want to finish off with a quote here by Winston Churchill. He says this: "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give."
That's good.
That is really good, Winston. Thank you so much for those kind words. But thank you guys so much for staying tuned to the Center for Victory podcast of Your Best Day Yet. We hope you really enjoyed November's podcast of giving and generosity. Make sure that you share our videos. Hit that like button. Also hit that notification button, and leave a comment in the comment section below. And we always leave you with this, and it's this quote: wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make this your best day yet.
See ya.
See ya.